All right, ready to dive deep. Today, it's all about the world of pharmaceutical product life cycle management.
Specifically, what happens after a drug gets that FDA approval?
You guys requested this one, wanted to know how companies can tweak products after getting the thumbs up.
We've got FDA guidelines, research on mutagenic impurities, even some stuff about botanical drug development, so.
You ready to see your medicine cabinet in a whole new light? First off, why change an already approved drug?
Good question. Pharmaceuticals aren't static changes happen. Could be tiny tweaks for efficiency or...
Or scaling up production to meet demand. Like, imagine you've got this botanical drug, right?
Okay, yeah.
And you find a new way to extract that key compound, maybe a different solvent, eco-friendly or cheaper.
But you can't just, switch things up randomly.
Right, and that's where the FDA and the ICH, the International Council for Harmonization globally, step in.
Exactly. They've got these frameworks, like roadmaps, that companies have to follow for any changes.
So we're talking CBE0, CBE30, and PAS. Honestly, they sound like alphabet soup.
Huh? Yeah, kinda. Think of them like highway lanes. CBE0, that's the express lane for minor tweaks, low risk.
CB30's more the middle lane, a bit more scrutiny.
And PAS, that's the slow lane, major overhauls, full application.
So it's about assessing the impact, making sure there's, checks and balances.
Totally. It's about ensuring those meds stay safe and effective. That's where quality by design, or QBD, comes in.
Okay, QBD. Is it just a buzzword or is there substance?
QBD. It's fundamental. Makes changes smoother, less risky. Imagine a crystal ball for manufacturing.
Whoa.
With QBD, companies understand their product and process inside and out. Every ingredient, every step.
So anticipating problems, designing systems to, head them off at the pass.
Exactly. Imagine you're scaling up production. With QBD, you know which parameters are critical, how much variability. It's like a blueprint.
Makes sense, like a solid foundation. Then you can be more flexible later on.
Exactly. And this is huge in, say, cannabis and psychedelic medicine. Think about growing cannabis or extracting those compounds.
Yeah, sensitive processes, any change, like solvents, could have an impact.
So QBD lets them innovate and adapt while staying compliant.
More than a safety net, it's like a strategic advantage, right?
Totally. It's about proactively building a system that can handle change without messing with quality or compliance.
So we've got pathways, QBD. What are some situations where these changes are super important?
Well, one thing that comes to mind is controlling mutagenic impurities. Familiar with the ICH M7 guideline?
Mutagenic impurities. Sound a bit scary, honestly.
Definitely taken seriously. These impurities might be harmless alone, but become a problem when they interact with other stuff.
Okay, so you're combining ingredients, so individually they're fine, but mix them wrong and boom.
Exactly. We've got an example here, nitrosating agents, common in manufacturing, not mutagenic themselves, but...
But if they react with certain things, they can form nitrosamines, which are mutagenic.
And the tricky part is, these reactions can happen during storage or even in the final product.
Yikes. So how do they, prevent that from happening?
It's multi-pronged. They assess the risk of these reactions, put controls in place, and test.
And any process change, like a new solvent, means reassessing the risk of these impurities.
Exactly. It's a balancing act, innovation, efficiency, and safety. Always.
Makes you realize how much work goes into making sure our meds are safe.
And the expertise needed. Scientists, chemists, engineers, all working within those regulations, they make sure the quality is top-notch.
It really is a hidden world, isn't it?
It is. And those FDA and ICH frameworks might seem bureaucratic, but they're crucial for public health, making sure changes are done carefully.
My little pill bottle suddenly feels a lot more complex.
It is complex. And next time you grab a prescription, remember it's the result of science, regulation, and quality control, all working together.
Feeling a lot more informed now, like peeking behind the curtain.
It's fascinating stuff. These aren't just products, they're scientific formulations that need constant attention to maintain their quality.
I think we've covered a lot already, but we're just getting started. We'll be back to dive even deeper into post-approval changes. Stay tuned.
And these changes actually start way back in the drug approval process with the clinical trials.
Oh, right, clinical trials. Those huge studies, all that data on safety and effectiveness.
Yeah, huge. And the FDA scrutiny is intense, but those trials, they don't stop once the drug is approved.
You mean like post-market surveillance?
Exactly. It's crucial for monitoring those long-term effects, picking up on rare side effects that might not have shown up before.
So it's like a feedback loop, constantly gathering info to make sure things are working as intended.
Exactly. Safeguarding public health. It shows how dynamic this process really is. Even after a drug's on the market, it's still, evolving.
Makes sense. We've talked about how QBD helps manage these changes, but could it also drive innovation?
Absolutely. When you really understand your process, you start seeing opportunities. Streamlining a step, maybe, or reducing waste,
Oh, okay.
or tweaking the formula to, like, boost effectiveness.
So it's not just about avoiding problems, it's about actively making things better.
Right. And that's where those post-approval changes come in. QBD lets companies make those adjustments confidently, knowing they have the data to back them up.
And I bet that's especially important in fields like cannabis and psychedelic medicine, where things are moving so fast.
You got it. Those fields are all about innovation, and QBD provides that framework, embracing change while maintaining quality.
Okay, I'm sold on QBD, but I wanted to touch on botanical drug development. Seems like it has unique challenges with these changes.
It definitely does. Botanical drugs are a whole different ballgame compared to synthetic ones. Being plant-derived, they're inherently more variable.
So you're at the mercy of Mother Nature's whims.
Pretty much. Plants grown in different places, harvested at different times, all those variations can impact the final product in unpredictable ways.
So consistency is key. How do you ensure each batch is the same with all that variability?
It's all about meticulous control every step of the way. Selecting plant varieties, standardizing cultivation and harvesting, even optimizing those extraction processes.
That's a lot, especially if you want to make changes down the line.
It is. Any alteration, even a small one, needs careful evaluation. That's why those regulatory frameworks are so important. They provide a roadmap for making changes safely.
Finding that balance, right? Innovation, respecting the natural variations, and staying compliant.
Exactly. It needs a deep understanding of both the science and the regulations. It's complex, but when done right, it allows us to tap into the potential of plants while ensuring safety.
This whole conversation has me thinking about the doctors and pharmacists prescribing and dispensing these meds. What about their perspective?
Oh, they're crucial. They're the ones making sure patients get the right meds, the right dose, and the right info.
So how do these post-approval changes affect their work?
Let's say a manufacturing change alters a drug's appearance. A pill changes color, for instance. That might not affect effectiveness, but if doctors and pharmacists aren't aware, it could cause confusion, even errors.
Wow, so keeping them informed is key, not just for them, but for patient safety.
Absolutely. Clear communication builds trust and makes sure everyone's on the same page. Manufacturers have to do their part to communicate those changes effectively.
And having those informed doctors and pharmacists can also reassure patients, right?
Exactly. They bridge the gap between the complex world of pharmaceuticals and the individual patient. They're essential.
So it's a team effort, from the scientists to the regulators to the healthcare providers. Everyone plays a part.
Love that. A team effort. It really emphasizes the importance of communication and collaboration all along the way.
So where do we go from here in our exploration of post-approval changes? What's the next step in this intricate dance?
We've got the foundation down. Now let's bring these concepts to life. Time for some examples and case studies.
Perfect. Let's see these processes in action, get a real-world perspective.
All right, let's imagine a company that developed a cannabis-based pain relief drug. Trials done, FDA approval received, ready to launch. But then they find a new cultivation method that boosts yield.
That's a good problem to have. More medicine for everyone. But they can't just make the switch, can they?
Nope, those regulatory pathways come into play. They need to assess the impact of this change and figure out how to submit it to the FDA.
Walking a tightrope between innovation and regulation.
Exactly. And this is where QBD shines. If they understand how those cultivation methods impact the product, they're in a much better position.
Like that safety net, giving them the confidence to adapt without compromising quality.
It's more like a springboard for improvement.
So in this case, which pathway are we looking at, CBE0, CBE30, or PAS?
Depends on the specifics and the risks. If it's a minor change with data backing it up, maybe a CBE0.
Just a quick heads up to the FDA.
Right. But if it's more significant or there's uncertainty, it might be a CBE30 with more info and waiting for feedback.
A sliding scale of scrutiny. And if it's a really big change,
Then a PAS might be needed, a full application like for the initial approval. More work, but sometimes necessary to ensure safety, especially with major manufacturing changes.
it really is more involved than you'd think, bringing a drug to market and keeping it there.
It is. And this example shows how important those frameworks are and the expertise of everyone involved. They're protecting public health, ensuring those high standards.
It's like a symphony, science, regulation, innovation, all playing together.
I like that. It captures the collaboration perfectly, and it highlights how important each role is in ensuring safe and effective medications for patients.
This deep dive really makes you appreciate what goes into taking a pill.
It's pretty remarkable when you think about it. So much science and oversight behind every medication. It's a testament to human ingenuity, and our commitment to health.
We've talked about clinical trials, botanical drugs, healthcare providers, and how QBD helps navigate these changes. But we're not done yet. One more segment to go. We'll delve into more specific examples and explore the bigger picture, so stick around. We're back, ready to wrap up our deep dive. We've covered a lot, but I want to go back to those mutagenic impurities.
Ah, yeah, those often overlooked, but so important. Really highlights the need for constant monitoring, even after a drug's been out there for a while.
Right. Can't just assume what worked in trials will always work.
Exactly. Things change. Manufacturing processes, new impurities popping up, even our understanding of them evolves.
Like an ongoing investigation, always looking for clues.
Exactly. And risk assessment is a key tool. It's about identifying those potential hazards, figuring out how likely and severe they are, and then putting measures in place.
So not eliminating all risk, but managing it.
Right. And with mutagenic impurities, it's all about the chemistry. Got to look at reactivity, potential interactions, the conditions where reactions might happen. It's complex.
I imagine it's different for every drug, every process.
Absolutely. That's what makes it so challenging and so interesting. And it's constantly changing, too. Our understanding of these impurities grows, new techniques come up, guidelines are refined.
A constant race to stay ahead. This industry is more dynamic than I realized.
It really is. And it takes collaboration, scientists, regulators, industry, all working together to maintain those safety standards as things advance.
Honestly, hearing all this makes me feel better about the meds I take, knowing all these safeguards are in place.
It's a testament to, well, our commitment to public health, right? And a reminder that science is always moving forward. We're always learning, adapting, refining our understanding, even about the meds we depend on.
Well said. So, before we wrap up, the thought-provoking question for our listeners.
Oh, I like where this is going.
What happens when those changes to a drug involve something totally new? A new ingredient, a new technology, something like that.
Wow, yeah, taking things to a whole new level. We're talking about really pushing the boundaries of medicine here.
Like, what if nanotechnology was used to deliver drugs directly to specific cells? Or gene editing in therapies? The possibilities are huge.
They are, but those advancements come with new questions. How do we know they're safe? Will they work with existing drugs? How do we navigate the regulations when it's uncharted territory?
So the future of pharmaceuticals, exciting, but maybe a little scary.
Both, definitely. But one thing's for sure, we'll need everyone working together, scientists, regulators, industry, to make sure those next-generation medications are safe and effective.
Well, deep divers, that brings us to the end of our journey today. We've explored these post-approval changes, from the regulations to quality by design, and even glimpsed the future of pharmaceuticals.
It's been a great deep dive. Hope everyone listening has a better understanding of this crucial part of drug development and the people behind it all.
Me too. And this is really just the beginning. There's so much to learn out there. And the more we know about our medications, the better choices we can make about our health.
Couldn't agree more. So keep asking questions, keep learning, keep exploring this fascinating world.
Until next time, keep diving deep.